Okay, folks, so here we are, basically a virgin session. I've got nothing going on except for my events. And I thought what I would do is start off by showing you guys the foot implementation. So what I've got here is I've got a big file somewhere. Where is it here? Oh, okay, so what I've got is a big chunk of content that is all the footsteps. So you will have obviously found these from the library, done what you've done with them. I'm going to click and drag them all into the default work unit. This workflow might be a little bit different from what we've done in class, but it's the same thing. I'm going to select all of these, and I'm going to give it a new parent, new work unit, and I'll call it player. Okay, and I'm going to select these. I'm going to put them into individual random containers. So make a new parent random container called feet concrete was that, I think. I'll do gravel, new parent random container feet underscore gravel, and for grass, new parent feet underscore grass. And finally, one for snow. New parent, random container, feet underscore snow. And just to be safe, let's have a listen. Yeah, that'll be concrete, sure. Grass, yeah. Gravel, sure. And snow. It's actually ice content, but we'll call it snow for today. Now, obviously, when you're going through with these, we want to make sure that we put on shuffle and make it avoid playing the last few. It doesn't have to always be exactly what I'm putting here, but the idea is that we want the randomization to be good so that the players don't get bored with their audio, because audio is important. Now, the next step is that we want to be able to fire this content appropriately. So if they're walking on concrete, we want to hear the concrete. If we want to walk on grass, we want to hear grass. The problem is we don't have player step on concrete. We have events that say the player is on concrete or on dirt or on grass, right? But what we don't have, and then we just have a player step event. So what we have to do is set up a switch. And to do that, the first thing that we're going to do is go into our game syncs, and we're going to make a new switch group. So I'm going to go switches, new child, work unit, and we'll call this player. And then new child, switch group, and we'll call this player feet. All right. Then we're going to make new switches. So new switch, we'll say snow. New child switch, we'll say grass. New child switch, and we'll go gravel. New child switch, and we'll go concrete. Perfect. All right, so now we have a switch and a switch group called the player feet, which has the 4 different states that we're looking for. I'm going to save just to make those little asterisks go away because they bother me. And now that we've made the switch group and we've got our events or our containers ready, we're going to put all of these into a new parent object, switch container. We're going to call this player, or we'll call this feet surface switch. All right. Now, to get the different surface types working properly, we have to assign a switch group to the switch. And to do that, we go in the switch box here. For you guys, you might need to scroll over in WISE because you don't have a higher resolution display as I do. We're going to go group, switch groups, player feet. And once we put that in, we get the options that are associated with that switch group. So snow, grass, gravel, concrete. From here, it's as easy as dragging and dropping our content into the appropriate state. Grass goes with grass, gravel goes with gravel, snow goes with snow. Perfect. So now, depending on what state the switch is in, the appropriate content will play. The only thing left for the foot implementation is we need to set up our events, and we need to set up events to change the switch state. So if we go to events, first things first, whenever the player steps, we want to fire this switch, okay? So that's great, except we need to make sure that the switch is in the right state. So to do that, we're going to go to the relevant events and fire switch change events on them. So let's go to player on grass and go add. Right click, new action, set switch. Okay, and I'm on the grass event now. So we're going to right click, set target to grass. Done. Okay, and dirt, right click, new action, set switch, right click, set target. Now this is dirt. Oh, gravel. Oh, I used the wrong terminology. I'm sorry, folks. Concrete, new action, set switch, target, set target to concrete. And grass, dirt, gravel, sand. Oh, it wasn't snow. Someone told me snow, and now they've confused me. Set switch. We'll make this our snow content. Set switch, set target, set snow. Perfect. Okay, so now we have an event that says player step plays the switch, and then depending on which event fires, it'll change what state the switch is in for us, and therefore play the right content. Obviously, whenever you're doing something tricky like this, we always want to test it out. So to test it out, we're going to make a new Soundcaster session. So under the Sessions tab, right-click under here, and I'll get rid of this. Right-click, New Child, Soundcaster session. I'm going to go Demo Session, and then I can double-click that, and I get this floating window up top here. And this is basically like a debugging window. So once this is open, I'm going to go back to my events and drag in the events that I need. So obviously I'm going to need player step. And I'm also going to need player on sand, player on grass, player on dirt, player on sand, ground, grass, dirt, sand, grass, concrete. Oop, perfect. So now what I can do is I can fire off these events and see if they work. So if I step, I get one piece of content. And notice it tells me here what the switch is set to. If I click on sand, oh, hold on, did I set sand properly? Dun, dun, dun. On sand. Yeah. There. When I click on grass, it goes to grass. When I click dirt, it goes to gravel because I can't get my naming straight. But the point is as we click these events and they fire, the switch is changing its little state that it's in, and we get the appropriate content. Now, just because I am interested in this, we are going to also, before I end off this video, I am going to set up the player jump. No, I take it back. That's it for now. Okay, so stay tuned. I am going to post another video, right snappy on the ambience implementation. Save.